Hello, this is State Representative Rob Martwick, and I'm coming to you today on April 19th, 2018, here from my office in our capital in Springfield, Illinois. So we are back at session now that the primary election is passed. We're back in session, we're passing a lot of bills, a lot of interesting stuff being passed, but we're at that point where bills are being passed, we don't know. You know, as everyone knows, Civics 101, a bill that passes the House has got to pass the Senate. So we're passing a lot of bills. Today we passed a bill that prevents gouging on prescription drugs. It sets price limits and reviews on prescription drugs. We passed a bill that would prohibit outsourcing of jobs from companies who get tax credits from the state of Illinois. So we took up a lot of interesting bills, and I'll be filling you in more on those in the coming weeks. But I wanted to talk to you about a subject matter hearing that we had last night, yesterday afternoon actually, on the subject of retirement readiness. And, you know, this is a big issue in our country. If you read the newspapers, you will read that the vast majority of Americans are not saving enough for their retirement. They're relying too much on Social Security, and of course, given what's going on in Congress, there's going to be a movement underfoot to reduce Social Security benefits. That's coming. There's no way around it. We can fight against it, but the Republicans are going to push for that. They've as much as said it, right? So Americans are not saving enough for their retirements, and when they don't save enough for retirements and they wind up living in poverty, well, then they come back to the government for benefits to help them survive, right? You don't have enough retirement money? Well, then you need SNAP benefits, or you need housing assistance, or you need Medicaid assistance because you can't provide for yourself. And so we here in the government, we're responsible for a large chunk of people. These are called public sector employees, right? These are your policemen, your firemen, your teachers, your frontline city, state, county workers. And we are responsible with creating a retirement for them. Now, much talk has been had recently about pensions because our pension systems are broken. And in an attempt to save money on pensions, we created Tier 2, which dramatically reduces pension benefits. But there could be a problem with it. Now, Tier 2 did not go into effect until January 1st, 2011. So that means you're not going to see anybody retiring for another 20 years. It's only been in effect for 7 years. It'll be 20 years before we see our first retiree on Tier 2. But here's the problem. The benefits are so austere that we could be in a situation. So let me give you an example here. Let's suggest that the beginning annuity for an employee, mid-level worker, is $35,000 a year. Now, that may sound low, but under Tier 2, your beginning annuity is the average of your last 10 years. So it can be quite a bit lower than your final salary. So imagine, again, a $35,000 a year annuity, and assume 19 years, because actuarial lifespan says that if you retire at 67, you're only going to live 19 more years. Inflation is predicted to grow by 2.6%. But here's the thing, inflation is calculated on a compound basis, which means if you take that 35,000 and you add a compound calculator for 19 years of 2.68% every year, that annuity, in order to keep pace with inflation, needs to be 61,000. But we don't do that. In Tier 2, we calculate the cost of living adjustment as half the rate of inflation, so 1.34% on a simple basis. So that means after 19 years, that annuity will only be $50,000, not $61,000, meaning they will have lost 20% of their purchasing power. But even more importantly, a $35,000 annuitant will now qualify for public assistance. They'll be at 130% of the federal poverty level. So they will have started out well above the federal poverty level, and they will have slipped down over the loss of income into the federal poverty level, and now we as a state government will start spending taxpayer dollars to keep these people surviving in their senior years. Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. Well, there's not a whole lot of interest in increasing pension benefits. Nobody wants to do that. So we held a subject matter hearing. What are some of the other things we can do? And this is an initiative that I intend to take up in the next week. I have a bill that would make deferred compensation, which is a supplemental retirement. So you'll still get your annuity, but there's a supplemental retirement that many public sector workers are already entitled to take advantage of, but many do not. And it is deferred compensation. So that's for all of those of you that have a 401k. It's like a 401k. There's no employer match. It's only a savings plan. But whatever you put in pre-tax, so there's no taxes on it. You pay taxes later, so it gets to grow tax-free, and then you pay taxes when you take it out. But here in Illinois, no retirement on state tax on retirement savings. So you would be able to get it tax-free on the way out as well. For Illinois, you still have to pay federal taxes. But the idea is to get people enrolled in deferred compensation. And we heard from some retirement experts, and one of the things that they're suggesting is automatic enrollment. So make the default option when a new employee signs up to work for the state government that they automatically are assumed to be enrolled, and they will automatically start deducting pay pre-tax and putting that into a deferred compensation plan for retirement savings for them. We'll also add to that escalators. So that means every 5 years, the amount, the percentage steps up, so they're contributing more and more and more the closer they get to retirement. If they don't want to do it, they can always opt out, right? We can't save people from themselves, but the idea is to encourage them to participate in supplemental retirement savings so they not only have this, but they have additional money to help keep them self-sufficient in retirement and not coming back to the government for additional benefits. It's good for them. It gives them dignity in their retirement and in their golden years. And it's good for everyone in the state because it takes that burden. You know, this is foolish that we say we're going to save money by giving less pension benefits and then wind up having to spend more money on public assistance. It makes no sense whatsoever. So this is a way of encouraging people to save their own money for retirement and make sure that they are safe and secure and dignified in their senior years with a pension from the state of Illinois, mild pension, small pension, but their own supplemental retirement savings. So this is an avenue that I'll be pursuing this year. It's an initiative of mine. Another part of it is to ensure that teachers, this is something that's very personal to me, I have a great deal of respect for the profession of teaching. Teachers have been, throughout the state, have been taken advantage of in their deferred compensation programs. Instead of the state offering a unified deferred compensation program, it's done on a school district by school district basis. And some of the plans are very good, and some of the plans are really terrible, and teachers are losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars of potential retirement savings. And so we're going to present a bill that is going to present a statewide offered, unified deferred compensation program for teachers. So this will ensure that when teachers do try to save supplemental retirement savings, that they know that they're getting a quality vehicle to save in, low cost, high returns, maximize their savings, again, helping them out. No one should be making money off of stealing retirement savings from teachers, and I hope that my bill will put an end to that. So that's what I've got for now. I know this isn't the most exciting stuff that goes on here in Springfield, but it's something that is very important about the future fiscal health. If we can keep people off of coming back for public assistance, that eases the burden on government for future generations. And anyone who's ever watched these videos knows that is my #1 priority, improving the long-term fiscal health of this state. So that's it. Rob Martwick, thank you for watching. Tune in next week. Some of these bills will start to roll. Things will start to get a little bit more exciting. I'll be back next week with another update. Until then, have a great day.